Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Medicare Space live show. Thank you so much for joining in this very beautiful Friday. It sounds very quiet. I don't know. Why does it sound so quiet? Is it because Sylvia's not here today?
Probably.
It's not here.
And she calls me the loud one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Medicare Space live show. My name is Victoria Cabrera, and who do we have here? And you got to sound like, you got to like summon Sylvia. Since Sylvia's not here today, you got to like...
A-Rod.
A-Rod. Adrian Rodriguez sitting to my right. Today, there's only two of us because Sylvia has been a little under the weather
Yes.
for the last 2 weeks. I won't say, what or when or how or who. But, coming back from Texas from all these trips that we've been taking and, we haven't been getting a lot of rest. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm barely catching up on sleep and work and all that after being away for a week. I can't believe like being away for a week is like being away for like a month.
Well, I think like you said, y'all probably partied a lot and had a lot of late night.
Yeah, Joe says still recovering from Medicare Con. That is for sure.
So I think what ends up happening when you don't get enough rest or sleep, your body tends to just kind of be like, you need a break.
Yo out of here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. Well, I had an interesting morning this morning. So my wife wakes up and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, what? Like, she's like, I had an 8:30 meeting and it's already 8 o'clock, right? So she's like zooming out and like, oh my goodness, #salty, right? And I was like, oh, so of course it woke me up. Like me and Mila were like, what? Heart beating fast. And we thought something happened. Well, she was just late for work. And then so I got up and I'm like, well, the live show's not till 10. I'll sleep in a little bit, do my thing. Well, I was like, well, I got to get my morning coffee in. So I stop at Starbucks, get the coffee. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get me a breakfast sandwich as well. Right. Well, as soon as I pull up to the parking lot in the office building, Desiree calls me. She's like, Victoria, do you want tacos? And I thought she was offering me tacos. Like,
yeah,
hey,
that's what it sounded like.
Do you want tacos? Like, I was like, no, I don't want tacos. I'm okay. She's like, okay, well, I was going to ask you to get some. And I was like, no, I'm already here at the office pulling up in the driveway, right? Needless to say, have my coffee. I have my breakfast sandwich in my, well, not in my hand, but in my console. And so as I'm walking up, I was still on the phone with her. And I somehow get my stuff, hang up the phone, and then whoof, all my coffee just explodes all over me. So that is where I am wearing I actually like it. That's why I'm wearing our volunteer Medicare Space shirts. These are actually the shirts we wear when we do community events and we volunteer places. And you can't see the back, but it has our mascot on it. But luckily, we have shirts here at the office that we usually give to agents and we have on in stock, right? Well, I don't know if you saw, if you go look at our Facebook story or my Instagram stories, I have coffee like literally all over. I've spilled it on my watch. I spilled it on my glasses. My face is still sticky. I'm just like, oh my goodness.
You know why? That's why I have that cup. It's like a spill proof cup. It's a little pricey, but I've had it. Yeah. And it's a cup I bring to work every day because I was always in a hurry in the mornings when I, my other job, because I hated it. And so I had my coffee and it wasn't like a spill proof. So then somehow I'm doing all these things like you're saying, and I would bend over and it would go all over the place. And so this cup, you can literally like turn it upside down, throw it around, and it won't spill.
You know what's interesting though about that? Well, I mean, when you stop at Starbucks, it's kind of like just get Starbucks.
No, yeah,
right?
I know, but maybe we gotta get you one of those cups so you could just like pour in.
Oh, I won't do all that. That's just an extra step in my life that I do not need. I think if Sylvia was here, she could attest. Unfortunately, Sylvia's not here today. She's been a little under the weather. We hope you get better, Sylvia. We love you. She's probably watching right now. Hopefully she's watching, but we will see her next Friday on the show back to normal. We've been a little, when we take this time off, it kind of like, it takes a little bit to get back in the swing of things. Yeah. I don't know about you, but
yeah, a little bit.
She's like, well, I haven't taken off, so I wouldn't know. Well, actually, Adriana's going to be taking some time off this month because it's her big.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
So we're going to go out of town, just a little weekend getaway. My husband and I, Lorenzo and I, we love Rockport. It's so cute and just very tranquil. I'm saying that correctly.
Yep.
And so just we really enjoy that small town kind of feeling, and we love we stay at the lighthouse, and it's like walking distance to all the restaurants and stuff. So it's just gonna be me and him.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
My awesome dad's gonna watch the kids for us.
Ooh, I wonder how that's gonna go. How many phone calls are you gonna get? Like, hey, what is up with your kids?
Papa is asleep, Mom.
Why are your kids always hungry? You know, it's amazing to me how small little things can fit so much food in their body.
Yeah,
like when I go to Corpus,
insane.
there's about 13 kids typically. And they're like, there won't go a time where it's like, food, hungry. I'm hungry. I want this. I want that. If my sisters are watching, they're probably like just getting workouts on the amount of times they have to get up, cook the food, get a snack, clean. Now it's snack time again. So any moms or dads or anybody listening,
hungry.
Why are kids always hungry? I mean, their stomachs are like a size
kind of
of
annoying,
a pea or something. Do your kids always, when you're home, are they always like, Mom, I'm hungry?
So
I'm hungry.
Maddie last night did not want to eat the food that I made. She stuck the rice in her mouth and she spit it out, which was insulting to me.
Insulting? Maybe it didn't have salt on it.
And then, so we proceeded to make her what she wanted to eat. And then she didn't eat any of it.
Oh.
And then I said, Madison, you didn't eat your food. She goes, I have to go to sleep. It's time to go to sleep.
Oh, that was just her way of getting out of eating the food.
I was like,
no. It's the food. You should have brought some rice. We should have tasted it. So,
I know.
Did you cook Mexican for Cinco de Mayo?
I did. My husband too has been under the weather. I think a lot like y'all. He's been working his ass off, and like I told him, I was like, I really think it's just your body when you're, when your body's tired, that's when you tend to get sick. So
yeah.
He's recovering too. So I wanted to make him a nice meal. So I made chicken tacos yesterday.
Ooh,
rice.
with corn or flour?
Corn. Corn. Yeah, my mom used to make them like that all the time with corn tortillas. Yeah.
What did we eat yesterday? We ate an interesting dinner meal. It was a little bit of everything. I think it was just a little bit of everything. But
What'd y'all eat?
So it was literally a little bit of it. It was like white rice, yuca fries, plantain, pork belly. What else did we eat? Brussels sprouts. It was odd. We threw Brussels sprouts in it. So it was kind of like almost like a Puerto Rican style.
Like a buffet almost?
No, I mean, I think we just kind of got what we had in the fridge. And I was like, ooh, yuca fries,
All of this. We're going to eat all of this.
But it was good. I thought it was very, very good. But yeah, we didn't do anything special yesterday. We just stayed home. We happened to win out. Stout Signature in San Antonio had like a little 1 year anniversary, and we got invited to their little party. It was closed off to like the public, and we ended up having a little too much to drink on the wine side, and but it was good. If you guys haven't been to Stout Signature downtown San Antonio, Stout Signature SA, go visit them. I love them because it's like when you go, you're treated like you got the little red carpet rolled out for you. Great customer service,
which kind of rolls into another topic.
Oh, what kind of topic we talking about?
So this is more of a PSA to doctor's offices.
Oh, okay. Yes. If you're a doctor's office, or if you're a clinician administrator.
Yes. Manager, you manage a clinic, or you work with, seniors, and I think it's extremely important and overlooked with our front desk. And I say our, right? Because we guide our clients through this process, and it's very frustrating. You ran into one the other day too.
Yeah.
And I think it's extremely important that the people that you hire and put in your front desk offices, when you have people who are, seniors, because a lot of the times they don't know what they have. They're given the
related to insurance.
Yeah, related to insurance as far as Medicare, and these are like health, right? Doctors' offices, and the front desk people don't have the best customer service. They're rude. They're short. They don't want to do the extra step to verify insurance. I think that's extremely important when you're looking at it. To maintain your clients, because believe it or not, like it affects it so bad to where these people don't even want to go to the doctor's office anymore. Yeah.
We've run into that extremely, not just on the provider, like on the PCPs, but also dentist. Like I had an argument, I try not to go there because I really try to be calm and collective.
She is very calm
and
collective.
And like it really takes me. It really like takes me a lot. Now, I used to not always be like that. So if my family's watching, they'd be laughing because they're like, Victoria, you have the shortest temper. But over time, I've become more wise.
Yes.
And especially in a business where you have to have patience and be, cordial with vendors and things like this. But I was calling a dentist's office. One of our clients, they charged her debit card for something that she hadn't even got done yet. And we called one of our dentist friends. I said, is that normal? Because this is what we do. We go the extra mile for our clients to find out, hey, is this typical for a dentist office to do that? And they're like, well, no, that's really not typical. So I call over there and I said, hey, well, our client has X amount of dental allowance in the plan, and you guys are charging her the full amount. Well, the girl's like, well, we don't have her insurance card. And I'm like, well, did you ask for it? So anyway, we had this whole conversation. Turns out our client did have the allowance and it did cover that, but they wanted to charge her. So I had this whole argument with the front desk girl. And of course, I'm like, let me talk to the supervisor. Let me talk to the person in charge of billing. And she's like, and who are you? And what are, and I'm just like, oh my God, right? So yeah, we had it out a little bit. And so that's just one example, right, of the front desk. They don't communicate with their people. So when you walk into a doctor's office, right, you see the person that checks you in. That's usually the front desk. And there's typically somebody else that manages the insurance side, right? Or maybe there even might be somebody else in the background that manages calling the insurance and dealing with the claims and all that. But they need you guys, if you're working out there or if you're a doctor, you really need to make sure that you are hiring people that at the very least, even if they don't know what the heck they're doing yet, right? Because it takes time to train.
Yeah, it does.
At the very least, you need to train them on how important it is to maintain that patient panel, maintain your patients, right? Because a doctor's office is a business. You cannot have a business without patients.
I cannot tell you how important it is. The doctor that we all go to, I recommend her to everybody, from the front desk to the back office, to the office manager. They are great. They have great customer service. People might think, oh, this is not customer. No, it is customer service. And she said it's a business. And it goes kind of back to what we've been talking about all week, is really just, are you investing in your business? Are you investing in your office? Are you taking the time to train your staff? Are you taking the time to teach them? That's not the way you talk to them. I get it. It's go and go and go and go. I've never worked in a doctor's office, but I can definitely come at it from a customer service perspective, and knowing that in order for you to maintain those clients and maintain those patients, you definitely have to have good customer service. You need to be patient. You need to be understanding. And at the very minimum, like you said, if you don't know what you're doing, at least ask somebody who does. If I can't answer a question for my client, I don't ever tell them, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm like, you know what? Give me a second. Let me ask my boss. Let me ask somebody who's been doing this a little bit longer than I have and get you an answer.
Yeah.
Because that's just dumb.
And when I don't know the answer, I go to my friends that I know on a national level. I'm like, guys, I'm having a brain fart today. Help me out here. And that's the power of, associating yourself with people that know more than you. Don't have an ego. Find people that know more than you.
Ego is not your amigo.
Ego is not your amigo. I like that.
You said that to us one time.
Oh, did you see that?
No, it was a light.
I think it was the electricity that almost went out. Somebody didn't like that we said your ego is your amigo. Oh, ego is not your amigo.
Yes.
Where did I hear that from? It had to. You said that to us it's too slick. There's no way that I could have come up with that by myself. Maybe I did. I'll take credit for it. I don't know. But ego is not your amigo. That's great. Guys, put in the comments if you have ever dealt with like a bad experience at a dentist's office, at a doctor's office, at a hospital. And we get it. It's very hard to be in those positions, right? Because you're coming into sick people. People are not already happy. However, there are ways that you can handle situations without knowing the answer to all. You don't have to know.
It comes down to compassion too.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a friend, right, who she's an RN, and she said, she works in a doctor's office, and she's like, all these people were complaining, during COVID and everything. She's complaining. She's like, and you know what I said? She's like, I chose to be a nurse. She's like, I chose to be in this position, and I chose to do this job.
That is true.
We learn about this in nursing school. Like we learn about all these diseases, and now it's coming to pass. And now we have to deal with it.
Makes sense.
And so I was like, wow. And for that to come from her, I was like, yeah, you're right. So I think you're probably saying, oh, it's y'all don't understand. And it's like, well, no, you chose to be in that position. You chose to do that job. Now, granted, sometimes you're going to do things that you may not necessarily be like, that's not your job description, but that's what separates you from everybody else. We had a call the other day. This lady was looking for a Mother's Day gift. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. But I did tell her, I'm like, what kind of Mother's Day gift were you looking for?
Yeah, we get random calls on our 800 line. I don't know. Maybe it's just Google, when people search Google and they find things and they just call us because they don't know where else to turn. But yeah, I heard Adriana's like, what kind of Mother's Day gift? Because I could hear what Adriana's saying. I'm like, what are they asking her? And I'm like, I'm just going to let her handle that.
There was time, and Victoria does it all the time because I see it. There's times when we don't even do stuff that's literally within our job description. It's literally above and beyond when we're looking for something or doing things for our clients or people who are not even our clients. And I think it really comes down to, like you said, and we go over this with our training, is having compassion. Yeah. And if people would train their team like that, then we wouldn't be having people who are upset.
And then people that are consumers, like that are listening, that maybe just want to tune in to hear a little, us chit chat and laugh and just whoever you're listening to. This can apply to anybody. So if you're a client of ours, or if you're trying to become a client with us, you need to know what happens in the background, right? Like at one point you said, well, we're not always going to talk about insurance. We talk about what goes on in the office. Well, you kind of get a behind the scenes, like what we're all about, because this is who you're going to be working with, not just for 1 year, but for the lifetime of your policy, right? And so you need to know us as people, and we are constantly investing and taking the time to get better to help our clients. And yes, when I first started, it wasn't always like that. I was a one-man show. I didn't have all the tools and the access to capital and things like that as I do today. But back then, like, I still had that want to help people. And that's why people tended to like, okay, I like you. Like, let me refer my friends and family, So I think that is very important. I was talking to Desiree the other day, and I was telling her, hey, listen to Adriana. She sounds good, right? And she's like, yeah. Because sometimes when we're in a role, especially that we're doing every day, you forget to just be not a human, but you forget just like have compassion for people, listen to people, actively listen to people. Because whether you're a server, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a front desk person at a doctor's office, insurance agent, cashier, when I go to HEB, those cashiers are always like, how are you? And like, as if they know you. I'm like, and it makes me want to go there. But if I go to like Walmart and they're always all, in
a bad
mood or whatever, or some other store, I'm going to be like, man, I just don't want to go there anymore.
And there's places that I've gone where I'm like, I'm not ever going back there because the customer service is horrible. And it's funny, I really learned the importance of it when I first became a manager, and I ran a gym that was really old. The equipment was old and the floors were old. And I remember telling the staff at the time, I said, look, what's going to separate us from all these other gyms is our customer service. And it did. And I used to have people who would come in and tell me, I literally drive over here just because you all have really great customer service. And then they would say, the equipment is not the best, but the customer service is great. Yeah. And know that it really, really does matter and count. Like you said, when you go to Stouts, they treat you good. They know you by your name. They take care of you. Therefore, you're a very generous person, but you're going to be generous. You're going to tip them. You're going to do well. You're going to overly tip them because, they're doing a really great job. Yeah. And not only that, but you're going to recommend them to other people. Yeah. And so it's like, sometimes we tend to forget, like, hey, why are we not being more compassionate or friendly or understanding? This is what drives our business. This is what gets us going. And we help one another. So like when you're recommending a restaurant or you're recommending an agent, you're going to recommend somebody who you trust and who is going to get the job done correctly.
Exactly. And for those of you that are experiencing bad service, also be compassionate as well. It takes two, because, there was always this thing called the customer's always right. Well, I really don't believe in that. Honestly, like there's been times where I tell Adriana, hang up. No, you don't need to be dealing with that. They don't need to be cussing at you if they don't want to work with us. That we're not going to deal with that. So we do fire clients. We do fire agents and we do fire clients because they just don't fit our Maybe you're better. Yeah. Maybe you're a better fit for this person. Not that we will not try everything in our power to help you. It's just that some clients, you got to be compassionate to the other side too. So I think if there was two compassionate people, or understanding people, then there would be a lot more like better service and happier people out there. Mm-hmm. Just because you're a customer, that does not mean you're always right. Yes, there should be a level of service, but you need to also understand, like, especially when you're working with a small business, right? We're barely getting back on track from the last 2 years. Just keep that in mind, right? Now, mm-hmm. if they're like not paying attention to you and they're not just you're right there and they're not even acknowledging you, that's different. But mm-hmm. if they're busy, like, and they're like, I'm so sorry, we're really trying our best, then, be a little bit understanding of that. But mm-hmm. I'm glad you brought that up, because that has been coming up a lot these days with our clients about them having issues with their doctors mm-hmm. and
it's the front desk.
Yes. So if you're a doctor listening, or a clinician manager, or an office manager for a provider office, whether you're a small clinic or a big clinic, I know it's hard to stay on top of your people, but somebody needs to. Mm-hmm. And if you're a front desk person and you're doing phenomenal work, and you're like, screw you, Victoria, that's not all of us. Well, then, I don't know. Kudos to you. Keep what you're doing, because it matters.
If it offends you, that's probably because you're the one person.
Oh, that is true. If it is offending you, you probably are that. Yeah.
That office.
Isn't that always true?
Yeah.
That's why people are like, oh, they're talking about me. No, because that probably
you probably are that person. That's why I tell my kids all the time, like, because I'll be like, you all leave this mess. And then my oldest is always like, you all say you all. And I'm like, well, first of all, if it doesn't apply to you, then you shouldn't be getting upset. You should be taking the information and going, oh, okay, thanks. I got mental note for next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, kids normally do that because they want you to know that they're not doing it, but which kids aren't and aren't.
Yeah. Just like to lump them all together.
Yeah. We wanted to bring that up because that was something that, man, it was interesting this week. It's been a short week. I mean, it's only been 4 days, right? Or 5 days. Today's the 5th day.
Yeah.
But we've been helping clients this month, and it's been busier than ever this month. And that has been something that we've come across quite, like, maybe 50% of the people we were talking to had some customer service issue with. It had nothing to do with the health plan. It had everything to do with that person not going the extra mile to verify the insurance.
And it's not worth losing a client, and it's not losing a patient.
And you know what pisses me off too? It's like, dude, people change insurance, right? If the card ain't working and it says insurance is not active, what's typically what are you going to ask the person?
Did you get a new insurance plan?
Thank you. Did you have another insurance card possibly? It just takes that one extra question. Okay. Well, we don't want to harp too much on that, because we just want to bring it to light that if you are listening and you're a provider and you want us to go train your staff on the things they should ask, the things they should do, we're happy to go out there. We do these all the time. We'll take lunch to you. We'll teach your staff on these particular things and processes. But at the very least, just kind of know who's in the front. It's funny because I will never hire somebody and not know what they do. Mm-mm. Like, even though Adriana manages a lot of the stuff, I'm going to have the bird's eye view and be like, wait a minute. I don't think that. What do you think about that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask her, like, what do you think about that? And she's going to agree and be like, well, I disagree. You should have got rid of that person a long time ago, or I disagree. You should keep that person, or, whatever it might be. But I'm going to have to know what's going on, because guess what? If somebody calls into the Medicare Space line, which is our inbound, that 800 number you see everywhere, right? Yes. And somebody's like, hello, I'm be like, hey, we got to answer it professionally, right?
It can't be like, hello.
Because there would be times where, like, guys, y'all need to be saying it like this, like, and so you have to be involved. You might not be involved every step of the way. I mean, heck, I was gone for a whole week and you guys managed the office. I didn't get not one phone call, right? But that's because I trust them and I know they do a good job. For those of you that don't know your front line, the people that are working with your clientele, then you might want to get to know those.
I think it comes down to the same conversation we have every single time. You either need to invest your time or you need to invest your money. And you got to do it. Like you have to. And this applies to anything and everything. You want a better relationship, then you better invest time. If you want a better car, then you got to invest money. So, so I think it really comes down to that. And I think that's why we really appreciate, I extremely appreciate it. You go to these trainings, right? And it's funny because I don't think about it like, oh, you're having fun and she's having all this fun. I used to think about it like that at my previous job because I felt like they didn't bring back the amount of knowledge that you bring back. And so for me, I was like, oh, they're going on another trip. They're having fun. That was my previous employer. This time around working here, every time you come back, you bring back new information. You really take in everything that they're teaching you. And I get really excited. I told Desiree, I'm like, look, she's going to bring back a bunch of information. Like she's going to be super excited because she learns a lot when she goes to these conferences. And so for me, I'm just like, I'm so excited. I really, really love it. I enjoy it because you invest your time, your money to go to these trainings, to come back and teach us all these amazing things.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and then next year they're going to go with us. They're going to go with us. Good. So let's see. My mom, Josie. Good morning, Mom. She said, my mom's always dropping wisdom. So let's see what she says right here. Okay.
Mama Josie.
So it says, good morning. This is a great topic. I'm in a position where there's times we see customers once or twice a year. So I had a patient call and wanted to talk to me because he said I genuinely listened to him. Aww. I couldn't remember his name, but it was 3 years he had been in. The motto is to connect. I like that. Well, and my mama, she manages a vision optical center in the Walmart. So yeah, you deal with that all the time. Good morning. Great info, ladies. Thank you. I like that. The motto is to connect. I like that. I'm going to steal that, Mom.
And we're all guilty of it because like she said, I may not always sound like that. I do genuinely care, but I think sometimes I get in my head because I'm like, I'm a person that's like really like, okay, I just want to help you like the quickest, fastest way. Let's get this done. And so, I just sometimes you kind of get into that mode and not just at work, but like in general in life. Right. So I think it's extremely important to have that person to bring you back down and be like, hey.
Yeah.
I
need you to. So when Adriana first started, because she's like, it's when you're in a different role and a different type of client, it's a little different to adjust. So I would do this a lot.
Yeah,
slow it down
because I get really excited and talk really fast.
Slow it down, and she'd be on the phone. I'd be like. And she'll be like, okay. Now I don't have to do that. We'll talk about like, everybody. I go into slumps where I'm like, man, I should have handled that better. I've done stupid crap where I'm like, maybe I should not said that, or maybe I shouldn't. But then I get over it. Before I let it simmer and like, if I did some stupid crap, right? And we all make mistakes. But if you say something stupid or do something stupid, I used to like dwell on it for months. I'd be like, I can't believe I said that. What are they going to think of me? Oh my God. And it would really eat at me. And like, I'm stressed out. Now, if I say something stupid, I'm like, oh, well, I said it. That's what I think.
I think when people really know who you are, they are like, oh, that's just Victoria. She didn't mean anything bad by it. I think when people genuinely care and get to know you, then they know your intentions and they know that your intentions weren't like, malice, like it wasn't bad, you weren't meaning anything mean.
Or sometimes I just say what I speak, like what I think, and then the truth really does hurt sometimes, and it's not always the nicest stuff. But like I forgot what I was saying there. But when it comes back to when you're in a slump, or if you're in a role, and it doesn't matter, because you know what, if you're a senior listening to this, more than likely you're probably still working, because guess what, people are working longer. When we were starting in Medicare, we would only target people, because when we market, we are a business. We're not a non-profit organization. We only make money if we help you, right?
I feel like you just touched on a topic of customer service, that they're still working. Now that I think about it, there's like two extremes. You have the young kids who have really good customer service that they suck, right? And then you have the middle age people. And I'm talking about kind of in the service industry. And then you have the seniors who are still working, who actually have really good customer service.
Yeah.
They're really, really like, hi, how are you?
Because some, not, I'm going to say just people in general, right? It doesn't matter how old or young or whatever you are, but there's always brackets in each age group that are like Desiree. She's super young, but she's super mature and like she's responsible. Where if you meet another 19-year-old, they're like, where are we going to go out today? Or like, yeah,
I don't have a job.
Yeah. Where am I going to get $20 to eat my lunch or whatever? Right. Where she's like trying to already building goals to go to 2 vacations this year, which is phenomenal for a 19-year-old. She works really hard for it. But so there's just 2 ends of the spectrum. But seniors are working longer. And so they might be in a position right now that that they might need to listen to this message too. But if you are a senior and you are retired and you're dealing with some of these service issues that you go to dentist offices, provider offices, or anywhere, specifically providers' offices, do not wait until the problem gets bad.
Yeah.
Because by that time it's too late.
You may not be the only one either who feels that way about the front desk or the service.
Yeah. Because sometimes when you tell us these things, we can fix it before it gets too bad. And it might be that one time period in the year where we can actually get you changed over to a different plan to find you a different provider or whatever it might be to fix the situation. There's been times where you call like a day late and then you got to wait 30 more days for us to fix the problem. So that being said, it's a 2-way streak. If you're having issues, don't wait till it gets bad. I should be listening to my own advice because I'm a procrastinator. So like, I'll give an example. I think we had a leak and then we thought it got fixed and then it's just, now it's getting bad. So we're like, okay, now we got to get this fixed, right? Same thing with my pool. Like, I think something shut off and I've been letting it go. And I'm like, damn, now it looks like the swamp back there. And now I'm going to have to hire somebody to come clean it and fix it. So when I could have just hired somebody real quick to see what was going on, it might have been just a switch or a breaker.
Yeah.
But just don't wait. If you're a consumer on the other side of it, don't wait till it gets bad. Call somebody up. If it's related to insurance, call your insurance agent. If you don't have an insurance agent, you can call us. We're not always looking to switch your plan. If we find an opportunity where we can help, maybe we'll present the information to you, but at the end of the day, that's your decision.
Yes.
Are you guys in the comments? Let us know if you ever dealt with, just put a thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever. If you've ever dealt with an issue, because I'm curious to see how many people have actually dealt with this. If you've dealt with a bad experience at your doctor's office within the last 12 months, at the dentist or at your provider, vision, hearing, whatever it might be, let us know. Put like a thumbs up if you have dealt with something like that. I'm curious to know how many people have dealt with that. And if it's the thing, or we just run into it, we just get so lucky to run into people that have run into these situations. I don't know. Let us know. We're curious to see. And also, guys, thank you so much for always joining in. It's so awesome when we see this show growing and growing and growing, and we get more listeners, and it really gives us that fuel to keep pushing. It's not an easy task to do, especially when you spill coffee all over yourself. And I was like, man, I'm just gonna go home. But then I was like, okay, get over it, Victoria. I almost have 2 personalities. Actually, sometimes I have 3. I'm like, get over it, Victoria. Get your butt in there and do the work, And so that's kind of like me. I was talking the other day. I was like, it's really not a question of whether or not we show up. We have to be here to do the show.
I think that's just in life. You just have to show up.
You just got to show up.
You have to show up. But yeah, no, I think, to kind of talk about our Medicare topic, because we talk a little bit of insurance every show. But yeah, I really think that this is more geared towards like the doctor's offices and people who are in service, who service seniors, even at the Social Security office. Like, we get it. You're busy and stuff, but having compassion and taking the time to be efficient and compassionate, because it's possible. Yeah. So just being understanding and providing them, because we get it. We all go through stuff, but we also have a job to do. Yeah. And just because you get paid to do it doesn't mean you got to do it poorly. Yeah.
So it's funny, because when I was working in a sales environment, especially over the phone, they would track our call time. It was called, I forgot what it's called, AHT or I forgot, call handling time or something like that. And we would actually get dinged if our time was too high. So if we were on the phone too long with that client, we'd get dinged for it. And I always thought, like, what the heck? And I get it. You have to take calls and you don't want to be lollygagging around. There's a specific time frame. But I didn't like it, because I was like, man, I feel like I'm not really doing a good service for these individuals. Well, now we're opposite. I actually look at their call time. I'm like, guys, y'all's call time was way too low. Y'all need to be on that phone longer. because we understand the longer you're on the phone, the longer what?
You can
help people.
Yes. The more you have a better understanding of their situation.
Now, if you're just, there's going to be times where it's like, okay, get off the phone. You're just at this point, you're just wasting phone time, but because there's other people that need to be helped. But there's like that silver lining where it's a little too long to be on the phone, but there's that sweet spot where you want to have a high call time when you're working with clients. So I get it. Like for those of you that are in professions that it's kind of like, hey, get them in, get them out, get them in, get them out. But let me tell you something. In this day and age right now, we are in a different world, in a different climate when it comes to handling service, sales, business, anything, customers. And we got to take it back to the old days in a sense where you were shaking hands and going that extra mile and making friends and creating a relationship and doing all this, because that transactional way of doing business is no longer going to exist anymore, because people, yes, you can do things more efficient, and yes, you can communicate through technology, but you have to, because guess what? That's what people are looking for these days. They're looking for a relationship, a problem solver, and somebody that can guide them, right?
Yes.
We're so used to, hey Siri, hey Google, hey, what's her name? Alexa.
Yeah.
Hey this, hey that. That's like technology that we almost want that human interaction. I don't know. Oh,
look, see.
Okay, Siri, cancel. Hey Siri, cancel.
Well, at least we know it works.
Siri's like, I agree with you, Victoria. But yeah, anyway, we were kind of going off a couple of topics here, but I'm really glad you brought that up, because it's just an ongoing issue that we've had since since I can remember that I've been in insurance, that there's always that partnership with like a provider or a dentist office and you don't know how to tell them, like, dude, your front desk sucks. Or if they're my friend, I'll be like, hey, whoever that is, you got to talk to them or get them out. But there was somebody that was saying it was really hard to hire people. I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of people out there looking for work.
That, yes, it's hard, but you also need to keep them, and the way that you keep them is by training them. So people feel more confident in their job when they know what they're doing. So if you teach them the right way, you give them the right tools, they'll go far, they'll succeed, they'll be great. I just think that people are not taking the time to invest in their employees. They're taking the time to invest in their teams. And that's why people are seeing all of these people fall off and go, because it's like, why would you want to work for somebody who doesn't care?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
pretty
simple.
I heard this somewhere recently. They were talking about that it was hard. Like people are always I hate to bitching. They're always bitching about, I can't find good people. I'm like, we don't have a problem finding good people. Actually, we're just waiting now. At this point, we're like, okay, when we do hire the next person, like this is what we're looking for. But I haven't had any issues when I was looking for somebody. Like I wasn't like, man, I can't find anybody. You know what it is too, is on investing in people, not only in their development, but you have to invest in them as far as taking care of them based on pay and bonus and whatever else. Because a lot of you business owners are cheap out there. You guys are trying to get away with like paying the minimum and not rewarding when rewarding is due.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think and there goes our connection. But I hope you guys can still see us, because our connection was a little bad there. But if you're a business owner, I get it. Sometimes it's hard to like even maintain employees, but you have to give what they are, their value, their value. And that's why I like the bonus structure, because you basically make what your value, you decide what your value is.
Yep.
But we also do things around like I told the girls, okay, guys, if you guys hit this
mini sales,
this benchmark by this week, I'll pay your concert and I'll give y'all like eating and drinking money. And they're like, okay, cool. So it's kind of a little encouraged, like, and I'm like, well, bam, I may go too. I don't know. Like, we don't want to go with our boss. But you have to invest. There's so many people that are like always try to save money. And I'm like, I'm always trying to get rid of it. And it's a weird, it's weird because we've always been trained to save money. But as a business owner, you got to get rid of that money. Yeah, you got to be smart and be profitable, but you got to get rid of that money. Yeah, you know, you want to buy yourself a nice purse, nice shoes here and there, but you don't need 1,000 nice shoes. You don't need 1,000. I don't know. That's just the way I run things. I like to give to my people. It's a must to take care of your team. It's an investment. It sure is an investment, Claudia. I mean, you guys know, you guys have a very successful.
Yeah, I will say that she does Christmas parties for them and she does things for them. I think too, it's a big key is my brother-in-law. He's a lot like you. I think every business owner kind of is he really, he's a talker. So he loves to talk and he's got a lot of wisdom and he reads a lot and he does trainings and things like that. He
still needs to come on the show.
I know. So I think that he does the same, a lot like you. He invests in himself, and then by investing in himself, he's investing in his team because he's taking that information that he's given and he's sharing it with his team.
I never understood why people don't like to share information. Like, okay, if it's a patented trade secret, maybe not. You can't share the recipe, right? But I've learned, guys, and maybe this is something that we've picked up when we were young. We're so closed off because we're very competitive when we're younger and we don't want other people to know what we're doing if it's working. But what I've learned is when I'm older, especially when it's related to business or anything for that matter, you can give somebody the freaking treasure map, right? In the business world, that is a blueprint, right? But you can give somebody the map to the treasure. Here you go, Claudia. Here you go, Josie. Here you go, Adriana. The treasure map to the diamonds, but it's going to take you hell and back to get those diamonds. And you're going to see all the mountains you have to climb and the sailing and all this stuff, right? What you're going to have to go through shark infested waters. And most people are not going to do it. So they know, oh, well, it's over there. It's over there, but I got to do all this. Nah, I'm good. That's going to be about 95% of people that are going to say, nah, I'm good. The other 5% are going to be like, all right, I'll try it. I'll try it.
I'm not going to do that. I'll go with you and I'll help you.
Yeah. And then you have like related to work, you have the people that are going to do just enough to get by, and that's okay. But you're going to have those people that want to grow and excel and do more. So from business owner to the business owner, any industry that you're in, it's okay to share ideas. That's what's going to help you grow and excel. But when you're kind of shut off, that's a scarcity mindset. What are you scared of?
Yeah.
You're scared that the next person's going to do better than you with the information that you give them. And then that's not a good mindset.
And maybe you're in the wrong role. Like maybe you shouldn't be a business owner. Like I think we can't, you're always like, Adriana, if you ever want to go independent, I'm like, no, Victoria, I don't want to go independent. I'm going to work with you forever. I'm more like I'm like right hand. So I'm like, I'll be there. I'll fend off the sharks.
I'll be there.
I'll fend up the sharks for you. I'll get you the boat to get you across the ocean. But yeah, it's not for everybody. Owning a business is a lot. It's a lot. And I've seen it firsthand here. I've seen it firsthand with my brother-in-law, my sister. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for your family. It takes a lot of time personally on you. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. And not that I'm not willing to make those sacrifices. I just see it as like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. It is a lot. I would rather help somebody grow their business and be there with them. That's just my role.
That is interesting that you say that. And this is something that we should probably cut out and repurpose later. Is right now in this day and age, you're hearing all these people. If you don't own a business, you suck. If you're not on your own, you suck. If you're not a hustler, you suck. You suck. Did you hear what she just said? What did you just say right now?
I don't know. I can't remember.
You said, I will be that one to help you grow your business.
Yes.
Okay. This is coming from somebody that's very smart, driven, ambitious, hard-ass worker, does everything. And you would think those traits would be of a business owner, right? But there's people like Adriana that are looking to partner with you. That's a business owner, or you, that's a manager, or you, that's a boss, where they're looking to be a part of the team, and it's out there. And also keep in mind that that when you see Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and LinkedIn and all these places that are like, if you're not your own boss, you're really missing the boat. Well, yeah, I get it. But you're really doing that person a disservice by saying, I used to believe that. I used to be like, yeah, 1% and the 98% are working for the 2% or whatever the damn thing is, right? That little thing is. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, no, that's bad, because not everybody wants to do that. And you're making, and because yes, I do agree. When you do make money, you start investing and you create that wealth, you can do that. But you don't have to own a business to do that.
Nope.
But there are people that are great people that want to build with you that don't necessarily want to do that on their own. And for those of you that are spreading that message, because especially in the insurance world, there's like, if you are not independent, if you're not do this, if you're LOA, it's bad. No, I know independent agents that are making 20 grand a year. I know LOAs that are making $250,000 a year. So it's like, which one's worse, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So the message out there, like that you have to be your own boss and all that to be wealthy, is not true. You just have to act like a boss in the role that you're doing. You have to be a boss in the things that you do. You have to show up, right? You have to do the work. Claudia says, don't believe the hype. It's hard to be a business owner. Yeah, it is. Guess what? I will tell you, my people will make more than me probably for the next 2 years. They will make more than me. Because guess what? I'm investing everything back in my business. Everything back in my business. Good thing I have a sugar mom at home. Otherwise, I'd be eating ramen noodle, and you know.
And again, it comes back to that too. You got to make sacrifices. My sister, for a long time, she had a 9-to-5, like, and you know, and her husband, they made it work, and so. You know, now she has a beautiful home, and they have a wonderful business that they run. So, you know, it's great, but people look at it and they go, oh, look, they have the nice house, they have the nice cars, and they don't know, like, it took all of this to get here. You think it was overnight. It wasn't overnight. Like, people look at you and they're like, oh, she's got this badass office and she's got all this stuff. And it's like, you have no idea how much I had to sacrifice to get here.
Man, yeah. Did you know, and this is, of course, it's out there in the cyberspace because I put it out there, but did you know in 2016, I was on the verge of moving back to Corpus because I was like, shit, I don't know if I could do it. The money wasn't there. I was behind on my bills. I was thinking about selling my house, moving back to Corpus, living with the family. That was 2016. What are we now? 2022?
2022.
That was actually June of 2016. We are in April of 2022.
May. We're in May.
May. Yeah. So you're talking 16, 17, 18, 19, less than 5 years. Less than 5 years ago. So it does take work, but it can happen. It can happen. It feels like it was just yesterday. But at the same time, Carmenza was laughing because I called her my sugar mama. You are my sugar mama. But no, I was just, I know we're coming up to the 10 minute thing here. Sometimes, again, we talk a little bit of insurance, a lot of everything else. Sometimes we're going to laugh and chat and laugh, but sometimes we're going to just do real talk.
Yeah.
Because you just never know who needs to hear the message.
I think when it's me and you, we always do this.
The real talk.
Sylvia doesn't let us.
Yeah, because Sylvia's like the funny bit.
Well, because she hates to cry.
Oh, yeah.
And she swears she cries all the time, but I've never seen her cry.
Because she cries for like a second. She goes,
she says she's very emotional, but I'm like, I don't see it. But yeah, I think it's because she doesn't ever want to go that deep. She doesn't want to peel back the layers.
Sylvia too, she had came back from and that's why I'm taking you guys next year. I really wish more of the team would come as well to Medicare Con in Vegas in April. And we go to these events because not only do we want to grow, but this is how we do better for the client.
Yeah. And I think and going back to what you were talking about, I think it takes a lot of like you said, I'm a hard worker. I do everything I do. Now, I've never been like, I want to own my own business. I think it's just a matter of really reflecting and saying, just because you hold all those qualities, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a business owner, and kind of saying to yourself, maybe I am better behind the scenes. Maybe I'm a better asset to this team or to this person being behind the scenes and saying, I can help her or him build this company and not have to be front and center.
There's what's called an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody that grows with the company as like you're just moving up together. The entrepreneur is the one that takes all the risks, the money, the all the back end risk, right, with the financial. And the intrapreneur is also taking on those like mental risks, right, because you're building and growing.
It's like the green and the red and the yellow.
Oh yeah, all the colors. I heard something when I was at Medicare Con. I think it was Dante Cantu that said about the ship. I think I was going
to bring that up.
I'm going to butcher this, but he was a very successful. He is a very successful business owner. Actually, he's in our backyard too. He said something about the ships. You have, I think, and if you're listening, somebody out there that was there, please forgive me. But there was the engines, I think the passengers, and then the anchors. And the anchors, and I'm not going to go into each one of them real quick, but the anchors are basically the ones that are going to disrupt the culture, they're not going to pull their weight, and they're actually going to pull the whole ship down. And you want to get rid of those anchors. Now, that was related to business, but I am going to relate this to your personal life as well. So listen up. Okay. This is going to be something that you might not want to listen to. But if you're struggling out there, whether it be in your relationship, your love relationship, your friendships, your relationships with your parents or your siblings, friends, work relationships, listen up. And if you take anything away, this is the one thing you take away, okay? If you have an anchor in your life, sometimes it's going to be the one you love. Sometimes it's going to be people you love. And it's not that you can't love them, but sometimes you have to identify are they an anchor? And how can you move forward if this person is pulling you down?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to think about, if you're listening right now, I need you to think about your situation right now. And if you feel like you're not moving forward, if you feel like you're in a slump right now, you're like, damn, like I feel like I'm in the same spot I was from 5 years ago. And you haven't moved not an inch or 2 inch, or you're just like, you feel like you're stressing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're not moving. Chances are there's an anchor in your life. Now the anchor might be you.
You might be holding
yourself back. But sometimes the anchor is somebody within your close proximity to you, which is in your circle. So friends, family members, whatever that might be, doesn't mean you have to cut them off completely. Just means you kind of have to edit that relationship temporarily.
You said set boundaries.
Set boundaries. And you're going to notice sometimes you have to make hard decisions in order to do that, whether it's friends you cut off, whether it's people you stop hanging out with, whether it's whatever. And nobody's perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Adriana's not perfect. But you need to be aware enough to identify those anchors in your life. And if you are the anchor, you need to stop with the ego, right? Ego is not your amigo. And really evaluate how you cannot be the anchor.
Yep.
Are you, and it doesn't have to be, oh, I gained 50 pounds and I'm bringing down the ship.
No.
Right? Would have brought that ship down a long time ago.
No, exactly.
But
us too, me too.
But if it could be in your mental, it could be in the words you're saying, the negative words you're saying. It could be that you're envious of other people around you. It could be your jealousy with your relationship. It could be money. It could be anything like that. So if you are that anchor, and I know he was relating it to business, but I can almost tell you if I were to talk to him and ask them, hey, would this apply in life? Hell yeah, it's going to imply.
Invest. Again, it comes back to investing yourself. Invest in yourself. If you are the anchor, how can you help yourself? It doesn't have to cost you thousands of dollars. It can honestly be for free. There's podcasts out there that help. So when people are like, I don't have the money, I don't have no, you're just making excuses. Because I used to do the same thing too. When I would be like, I can't work out. And one of the guys at work was like, why can't you work out? I was like, because I'm a mom, because I'm a wife, because I have to cook. And literally all I was doing was making a bunch of excuses. I, at that point, wasn't ready to hear that, right? That I had gained a lot of weight or whatever. But there's things that you can do that don't cost you a lot of money that you can invest yourself. Take a walk, drink more water, mind your business.
Stop being a keyboard warrior troll.
Yeah. So like there's free podcasts out there. There's self-help books. So just really investing in yourself, whether that be time or money, that you have to invest in yourself. And then that'll help you to see more clearly the relationships that are in your life.
And you're never too old or too young to do this. Nope. You're never too old or too young. It's interesting. We deal with a lot of seniors, and I noticed that a lot of them are still married and they're actually not married, but living together.
Yes.
Which is interesting because, it could be money, fixed income, things like that. But I found that interesting. But sometimes it's hard as crap to make those decisions to just move, because here's the thing. If you're not moving forward, at least a little snippet of a step.
Yeah.
Right?
Like a smidge.
Just a smidge. Just like a snail. Like a little snail. Slowly. Doesn't matter. If you're not moving forward, whatever that might be, then there is an anchor in your life. And I just thought about, I was like, oh, okay, let me think of how I'm being an anchor to myself, right? The goal is to, because in a boat, you might have 2 or 3 different anchors depending on how the boat is.
Yes.
So you got to start with one at a time, right?
Yes.
And then you might see, man, this really sucks and it hurts and it really messing with me. But then time goes by and you're going to notice something happening, that you're building this momentum forward. And you're like, whoa, that feels weird. Why is that happening? And then guess what? You get that momentum and you're like, I kind of want to do more of this. And then you're going to start getting rid of more bad habits or more people. And then you're going to go faster and faster. But let me tell you something. Momentum, just as fast as it can move forward,
it'll move you backwards.
It can move backward. When you think about momentum, what do you think about?
Moving forward.
You think about moving forward, right? And if a scientist or somebody in physics, he's like, no, Victoria, that's not momentum or whatever. I don't care. But to me, it's like, you can move just as fast backwards as you can move forward. And it's by then again, putting those anchors back into your life. Okay. We really hope that you guys, this was not a funny show at all. Like I said, we talk a little bit of insurance, a lot of everything else.
Yes.
Sometimes you're going to laugh. Sometimes you're going to cry. Sometimes we're going to chit chat when Sylvia's here and make fun of her and whatever we got going on. Sometimes we're going to have a guest. You just never know what you're going to get.
No.
Today we talked real serious, real talk.
I think it really, honestly, I think it had a lot to do with customer service, but also like attitude overall. Like, how are you looking at life in general? How are you dealing with situations? And it applies to everything, your job, our clients, your business, life. So I think it really did touch on it pretty much everything and kind of stayed on topic.
And do me a favor, because I know a lot of you guys don't know where to turn. You're like, well, man, Victoria says, or Adriana says.
It is Mental Health Month, by the way.
It is?
So,
wow. Okay, there
enough,
you go.
Yes.
I love listening to this show today. Well, we love you.
Yes. Thank you, Priscilla.
We love you. I'll tell you what, if you're listening in and you're like, well, heck, man, I don't know, Victoria. I don't know. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my calendar link here real quick. If you're feeling like down and out, and it doesn't have to do anything with insurance, okay? If you're feeling down and out, I'm actually later on, I'm going to go put my calendar link, book a call with me. No, this is not a consult call. I don't do that. Okay. Book a call with me, because I would hate for
somebody be listening and they don't have somebody to talk to.
And they don't have that guidance or that person. And I have 15-minute increments, 30-minute increments.
You're that soundboard.
Just a soundboard. Because I'll tell you what, I was very fortunate. I've always had soundboards in my life.
Me too. God, for my sister.
Not everybody has that. Not everybody has the mental capacity just to listen to an hour podcast every day. Start with something small.
And then don't talk to people who you know or who you think are going to tell you what you want to hear, because that's not okay. But also know, and I think Victoria too, because she's another amazing soundboard aside from my sister, my best friend. Because I will say this, whenever she's telling me stuff, whenever they're telling me stuff, they're not being mean. It may not be stuff I want to hear. It may hurt, but they're not coming from an ugly, they're not coming from an ugly,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're not being mean about it.
Yeah. There's been a lot of tears in this office, not just from us, but from a lot of people.
Yeah. So don't go to people who you're like, they're going to tell me what I want to hear. And then also don't listen to people who are being mean or negative. No, you'll know the difference. You know, you'll know the difference when somebody's really trying to honestly help you grow as a human being and helping you and be better.
This is how you know the difference. Okay. I'm going to tell me something bad. Like just say, hey, I got some news.
I got some news.
Ooh, what's happening? Tell me. I want to know.
Oh my God. Tell me the cheese, man.
Say,
oh my God.
Tell me you need help.
I need help.
Ooh, what happened? Why? What do you need help with? Okay. That's kind of an indicator, right? But the ones that want to help you, be like, hey, what's going on? What happened? What happened?
There's a difference.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're all done. We love you. Thank you. Call us. Let us know if you're a customer. We're not always going to tell you what you want to hear either, right?
No.
But we want to help you. Thank you so much for joining in today. We really appreciate you guys always tuning in, listening, sharing the show. We all need tough love once in a while. We sure do.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we will see you next Friday at 10 a.m.
Bye.
Bye-bye.